Can you pull up cost of college tuition over the years, right?
My daughter's looking at college.
Because when we look at the cost of college tuition, I'll just read this
triggering Matt over here right now. Matt's getting triggered.
Well, but think about that.
Yeah, of course.
Think about that, because when you look at the cost of college tuition, can you go to Twitter, the one I posted where I showed the numbers of what's happened to cost of college tuition? If you go a little lower, you'll see it. It's just I put up a bar, but here's what happens with how cost of living has increased. When it comes down to college debt, they're talking about writing off the debt, right? It's like, hey, just forgive everybody when it comes down to college debt. Okay. In the college debt situation, what individuals are involved? Let's go through it. Number one is the institution, which is what? The actual college, right? 2 is the student who's involved in that relationship. 3 is the parent who's involved in that relationship. 4 is the government that's involved in that relationship. And then let's put lender there. It could be the same, but it's involved in a relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So we have what? We have the institution at the top. We have the student, the parent, the government, and the lender, right? If I said it correctly, right? Those 5 people that are involved. Okay. So college used to be very cheap. Wasn't that expensive, right? If you look at that right there, that's the college tuition inflation since 1980, according to CPI, actual inflation. College tuition is up 1184. Inflation is only up 228. Who the hell let these guys do this? Now, if you look at this, 220 versus 1184, go a little bit lower on the tweet, by the way. Go a little bit lower on the tweet. Just get back and go to the following stuff that I say below it. Yeah. So average salary in 1980 was $21,200. Average salary in 2021 is $51,480. It's up only 142%. Yet college tuition is up 1,184%. How am I supposed to keep up as a parent?
Right.
So when did this change? Here's how it changed. You ready, folks? Here's how it changed. The moment the government said, we'll help colleges out with your student loans, it became a business. Mm-hmm. Colleges and the government teamed up together. Then colleges had no limitations on what they could charge. They said, we're going to charge this much. No problem, we'll lend it out. We're going to charge you. No problem, we'll lend them out. And the government said, hey, you can't write off your student loan. You have to pay for it, but I can write off all the other debt. Yeah, so you were against slavery. Now you just turned me into a slave? What happened there? Why are you doing that to me? I can't pay these payments. Oh, but it's for the good of your future because a degree is going to change your life. Oh, really? Most people who get a degree don't even work a job that has to do anything with that degree. What the hell do you mean? It's for the betterment of me, for me to get. So they created a monopoly for colleges. Colleges took advantage of that because colleges are the ultimate capitalists, by the way. No write-off, tax advantages. They have the biggest loophole in America. Harvard sitting on $40 billion of cash endowment. They can literally, for the next 100 years, not take a penny from their students, and they will still have money 100 years from now with the amount of money that they got in the bank. But what do we do? Who paid the price? You know who paid the price? You know who paid the price? Not the institution, they won. Not the lender, they won. Not the government, they got reelected. You know who paid the price? The parent and the student.
That's right.
And over and over. And so when they're like, we should forgive the debt. Why forgive the debt? Why put the write-off on everybody else? We should forgive it. No. Before we forgive it, I'm open to forgiveness. But step number 1, let's go get colleges to kind of catch back up to CPI, 228, which means to be at 228, you know what the average college, annual, what's the annual tuition for Harvard right now? 55 grand, 56 grand?
More than that.
Harvard would need to come down to $11,000. And then let's forgive it. Do you know what I'm saying? So why don't we bring it back down to Harvard's what? It's academics, $51,000 without financial aid, $49,000 a year earlier. One room and board and other fees brings it up to $74,000. And during COVID, they asked, hey, since you're doing everything on Zoom for the degree, can you lower the price? What did Harvard say? Nope, same exact price. Now you're telling me that capitalists are greedy? I don't see anybody more greedy than these college institutions.
I think you're absolutely right.
Shh.
I got a full tuition scholarship to the Boston Conservatory. And I had to come up with my own room and board. I studied. My grandfather helped me out, a couple $100 here and there. But that was my option. It was either scholarship or no college. I just paid off my $40,000 in student debt a year ago.
No shit.
That was the last thing I had. I paid off my timeshare in like 3 years. I paid off all the other things, but I just kept that college debt going.
What year did you graduate?
95.
So that's almost
27 years.
Yeah,
26
so
years.
almost
$400 a month going to Sallie Mae.
Well, on average, it takes 18 to 20 years to pay off student debt. That's the average.
No, I deferred from time to time.
Okay,
when I was
well, there
first
you go.
Starting out,
Yeah.
that brought it way up. But yeah, I mean, it's insane. It is just one of these bills, and it is the entree into the middle class. That said, however, I think we're going to see a massive backlash. I think, well, first of all, a lot of kids are going to look at the situation today. There are kids I know a kid in my town has got a 4.68 GPA, couldn't get in any of the schools she applied to. It's insane.
How's that possible?
Well, there's a whole like Northeast bias now. There's colleges are just it's a big story. New York Times ran a big thing about it. Now it sounds like, wow, you couldn't get into your school. You got to go to a lesser school, and to an extent, they're right. And you could argue arguments have been made that going into a lesser school is better for you. Like if you go to Harvard as a doctor, you're in there with the best damn doctors. So you come out as like fourth best doctor. You're not happy. You go to Ithaca College, you're the best doctor there. You have a great life, great career because you were the best doctor in your
fish,
school.
small pond.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see a lot of that. I think colleges, the backlash is going to be real. We're letting a lot of more international students too. That's a big part of it. But also you have now this whole generation being raised on Instagram, learning you can become a millionaire without having to go to college.
Correct.
There's all these hacks, these financial hacks, these career hacks.
So is it more on the student or is it more on the parent? Because when I was 17, 18 years old applying for college, dude, I couldn't tell you what the hell I wanted to do with my life. I couldn't tell you why I wanted to go to college. It's just that I just knew that it was almost robotically the correct thing to do was to go to college.
And it is to get a middle class job. But today you can go to a state school for almost free or free. A lot of states now have programs where if you go to school and it's community college, state college, it is free. There are state programs that the loan forgiveness is already happening at the state level.
So ultimately what we're not talking about is the concept of college or the concept of a higher education. I think that's invaluable. I think that's important, not necessarily for your IQ, but certainly for your EQ. I think I learned more about networking and who to hang out with and who's got their thing going on and who to hang out with and who to maybe invite to the parties. Like, I think I learned more of that in college than I did in a certain class or two. But ultimately what we're talking about is ROI, return on your investment of the amount of debt or the amount of cost that you're paying for college. If you can get it for free, I think it's a no-brainer. Would you disagree?
Yeah.
If you can get what for free?
If you get college for free.
Nothing is free.
No, I'm sorry. I'm not saying
Tuition
that.
free.
Tuition, like
How?
Who
pays for it?
If you get free tuition, free
You go to
room
a
and
state
board.
school,
Like,
community
$100.
college.
Who's paying
so
the
Oh, you're
teachers?
saying the
Who's paying the
scholarship.
Yeah,
lunches?
scholarship.
Who's paying for
Yeah.
the room and board?
State
Well,
taxes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. So it's not free. And
Right, of course.
just to clarify what Adam said really quick, is the taxpayer should pay for you to go to school not to improve your intelligence or learn anything new, but so you can party and learn how to network and get a little check off that says you went to college. It just...
Well, if you're holding the colleges accountable for providing the education that you're supposed to provide, then you could argue that it's for the betterment of society in general. But that gets to the evil word socialism, which we can't utter. You know what I mean?
But again, the colleges aren't teaching kids what they're supposed to be
that's fair.
learning, right?
Yeah, you've seen the stats where the education level is easier and easier and easier to pass schools now, right? At almost every grade. They're catering to the students, not the needs, right?
Like I think there's everything wrong. Not everything, but so much wrong with the idea that you have to go to college to make yourself in life. It's like, no, dude, go learn a trade.
Well,
go learn to be a
always
plumber.
an option too, of course.
Go, like you say, there's hacks. You can start your own business. Hell, look how many people are millionaires on OnlyFans. Like they're entrepreneurs. I don't agree with it.
Genetics
But
again,
it's like
yeah.
Now get me started on
this
that
idea
part.
that everybody has to go to college to make it in life is absurd. And to Matt's point, you are seeing a huge backlash to this. I mean, people are realizing that college is a scam. I mean, it's just not worth it.
70% is a waste of time. 30% STEM, or if you got a sports scholarship, go for it. But 70% of it is a waste of time to go to college. A few of the schools right now, it's crazy. In our community, a lot of these guys are guys that have money, and a lot of them are banking on Vanderbilt over any of the Ivy Leagues. It's like Vanderbilt is where they're looking at. I'm like, Vanderbilt, interesting. So Penn comes up, Vanderbilt comes up, Duke comes up. Some of these guys come up, but some of these guys that are Ivy League in the direction they're going, I think this whole system's broken when it comes down to college. And if we want to write off the college debt, I'm fully for it. But let's first lower the tuition by 80%, and let's write that. And by the way, I'll increase my taxes a little bit, but first, let's change that from $51,000 to Harvard at $11,000.
Right.
Let them also pay a little bit of the price, because they're breaking the backs of parents that are busting their ass 2, 3, 4 jobs to be able to say, I send my son to a good school and I paid for it. No, bro, it shouldn't be that much money. That should be $11,000.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.